The Archaeon. Do they intend to carry everything in the Archaeon to the moon? They said they'd started loading scientific records and biological samples, but do they really need all of it? It seems so long ago we first set foot here. It was. But once we were refused entry, we are now welcomed as guests. Among the many and varied documents sent to the moon, I did chance upon several inventories made in the Archaeon. Mayhap the Forum believed such records would provide insight into the intricacies of clerical duties. Regardless, the developers did not consider them worthy of more than a cursory glance. Of course not. That we have been granted permission to enter the lower levels is proof of our increased standing. Would they had been willing to confide in us sooner. It has been many moons since I last visited Labyrinthos. As vast as the archives were back then, they've only continued to grow in the days since. Some would surely object to the Forum allowing foreign elements to have the run of their secret facilities. We should count ourselves lucky. I don't understand the appeal of reshaping it to look like the world above. Make a peace with what it is, or go outside, if that's what you prefer. He's amazing. Our destination lies on the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archaeon's lift. Step inside and have Ophiline take you to medial circuit. Sorry. Too much Greek, Latin, and whatever other language. I think it's mainly Greek, actually. You wish to use the lift? Yes. Yes, please. I can finally use the lift. Yay! Woohoo! We made it. I have sent your associates ahead to Logisticon Alpha on the other side of Mariol Agronomics. Actually, there's something I have been meaning to... No, never mind. I can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. You're welcome for taking care of your kids. If that is what you were about to say. I assume it was. Oh, we might actually make it to the center. I'm pretty sure we are making it to the center, actually. Then I can get the last few ether currents, and I can fly! Fly, fly, fly. Because I think the next one is, like, west of us. Yeah. Okay. I wonder what this place is actually for. The further underground we go, the more surprises we find. The fields we passed along the way brought back memories of Ferndale. Unfortunately, we were never blessed with such abundant crops. Aww. We must be close to the central circuit, which is where Sharlayan's greatest secrets are held. If the tomes are perused toward the entire story, or the whole story actually, same thing. On our journey here, I was filled with an inexplicable sense of elation to see vegetables other than carrots being cultivated. Why, it near brought a tear to mine eye. Knowing the forum, even the people working down here are probably kept in the dark about the true purpose of this place. Oh, there you are, having words with Master Fortuner by any chance? Oh. Maybe. We had to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here being Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthus are regulated. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapor, stimulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with a grandfather. The night before, I'd been asking father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. It's all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inured to the wondrous. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Luperids in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in a new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthus, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind beneath the moon's surface, each unique, yet undeniably similar. This is no mere coincidence. Oh. Ever since Hydaelyn unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Aetheros, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparation for the Great Exodus. But that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on distant stars. Though the Loperids have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our final destination. Shouldn't it be habitable? They tried to make it habitable? Whatever. That is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. Hey, can we use this technology and, go to the first and go to the empty? I've arranged for you all to enter the central circuit. It is there that the most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions and will have free rein to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust. Your trust. Then let us proceed. Wow. No word. Just... yeah. Let's go then. Alright. By decree of the Forum, the Science of the Seventh Dawn are permitted to enter the central circuit. Yes.
This is it, the central circuit. It is indeed. We finally have the chance to commune directly with Hydaelyn, provided we somehow manage to succeed where Charlian's finest engineers have failed. Still, it won't hurt to have a look. The sooner we get a look at this ether burner of theirs, the sooner we can start working out how to improve it. The temperate environment here is not unlike that of Bestway's burrow, though the devised vegetation doth produce a far more complex bouquet of aromas. A welcome difference indeed, for I have grown weary of the scent of carrots. I imagine the secrets kept here would be of great benefit to mine own research, but I will refrain from indulging my curiosity. For the time being. Please tell me we're almost there, or is there another underground level we have to reach? The even more central circuit, perhaps? The farther down we travel, the more expansive the sky above becomes, artificial though it is. What that the heavens elsewhere could be so idyllic. Well, it is raining right now, so, you know. I have no idea what makes Alfina so confident that we can solve this problem of theirs. Relentless optimism, I presume. A not unwelcome trait in a youth, but less so in a gambler. Let us resolve never to let him set foot in the gold saucer. Good plan. The ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kokol Dankol, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introduction have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. Interesting name. I have, by the way, in the meantime, uncovered more or less the rest of the map, as well as getting all the ether currents in this area. Still missing the central, most inner central area. The bullseye, so to speak. Kokol Dankol. I wonder what race that person is. Oh, Lalafell. That makes sense. Surely the former have already petitioned the aid of the laborates, given their familiarity with such technologies. Makes sense, I guess. I was expecting the Sky Steel Manufactory, but instead I find the village smithy. While many of the facilities within the central circuit seem to be visible from the upper levels, the more secretive work must be carried out behind closed doors. He hasn't even realized we're here, or perhaps he has realized, but just doesn't care. Oh, I'm sorry. For a closely guarded secret, you can see practically everything from outside, even with the magical barrier surrounding it. True. Is he talking to himself? He looks lost in thought, although it seems he has hit something of a stumbling block. Perhaps you'd like to break the ice? How about his neck? This is the man we seek. Do try not to startle him. No promises?
I could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows. Think, Coco, think! We'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
Nah, not quite.
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse.
Nah.
Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Oh. Oh no.
Not seen you lot down here before.
We are not from around here.
Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface. by whatever means you see fit.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Troubles.
Aye, aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace.
Yeah.
As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding.
Okay, so far so good.
Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb.
Probably.
But it ain't perfect.
Oh.
According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient.
6%? Really?
A measly 6%, you say?
Yeah.
If I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Touché.
Hast thou consulted with the Loperids?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer.
Okay.
The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Refined adamantite.
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Of course.
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded.
Let me guess.
As I
Corvus.
recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ins like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though.
Huh.
We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the northern empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
I mean...
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with.
Okay.
Drive calls from Ragnarok class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up.
Excuse me, I've been down there. It's been easy. You can solo most of that stuff.
It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
Yeah? That sounds like a job for someone else. You want me to go and fetch the whatsits?
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
Oh, yes.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours.
Oh?
What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavenward.
Let's not go back there, please.
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-wood expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Mordona.
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether.
Azazla?
Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all.
That works
Are
as
there
well.
other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
There's also an Allagan facility
Is
in...
there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad.
You have no idea how far.
Any road, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics.
Nani?
Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal.
True.
Find a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship.
Okay.
I'm glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Sounds good so far.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking, and I'm a born plunderer.
Of course you are.
I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
That was easy.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way.
Anything
Now
else?
let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
Easy peasy. So you said you had a problem? I don't see the problem yet. Bye. Though Bahamut is long gone, the intimate hulks are far from safe. It could be much worse, of course. They will have to fight their way past Mercidian dragons, nor is there any danger of the Yellow Primal might be summoned again. Even so, I dare say there are still a fair few elegant creations and contraptions remaining to bar our friend's way, and I hope that grandfather watches over them. We'll see. Appreciate you doing all this, but I ain't getting me hopes up just yet. There are no oaths or contracts binding the members of the Ilsabot contingent, and in many ways it was even more loosely organized than the Crystal Braves. Nevertheless, I knew none would refuse this call to arms. Truly, we have been blessed with trustworthy and dependable allies. Time and time again, it seems that Allagan something or other are either the cause of or the solution to our problems, and sometimes it's both. To think the self-same materials that once launched Element will now be used to help ferry mankind to the moon, There's a poetry in that. First it's Lotharoy and now the final days. Huh. No one can accuse the Ilsabot contingent of backing down from a challenge. Of course, they weren't also committed to the cause when first we set out. But after seeing the example set by you, Alfino, and the others, the change was palpable. They couldn't help but believe. I am confident that even the deadliest of elegant defense mechanisms are no match for our allies. At this rate, some of them might soon have as many accomplishments to their names as a certain warrior of light. Considering how much of a fuss he made at the time, I don't see why he takes every opportunity to bring it up. It was just firewood. What serendipitous irony that the remnants of the 7th Umbral Calamity would become the keys to mankind's salvation. Never more certain have I been that Master Louisoix watcheth over us from the ethereal sea. At times like these, we are reminded of how famous, or infamous, Alfino has become. Would have thought he could achieve so much with a single link per conversation. As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh, and who might that be? That's for me to know, and you to find out. On that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. Oh, meanwhile, in Olda.
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames, and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must.
As you must indeed.
Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials.
Well, I assume the goldsmiths should be able to tell.
Guys, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
Sure. I forgot who that
As
is.
commander of the stone torches, my son Zimberg will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Chizona's blade clear the way.
Okay.
Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it. The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
Cool. I wonder if we are getting all 3 city-states? We are, okay. For a second there I thought they might just use the one from your starting city. But if we're getting all 3, or all 5 I guess, that would be fun as well. I like that they're actually using the Bahamut music.
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses.
Oh no, healers are just.
Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
At least you cannot be killed. Oh? Alamigans!
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
Helping.
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiency so plain to see.
You just said it out loud.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Well said. That indeed was a lifetime ago.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
Aww. How dare you? How dare you make me feel things? Meanwhile, in Kurthus. Manalaine.
There you are.
It's actually useful for once.
We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already...
Good man. Paying respect. That sounded like a dragon.
That was a roar. A dragon's roar.
Hey, Rosraga. Interesting. Or is it Tiamat? Or both? Certainly not Vitra. Meanwhile, in the Ruby Sea. It should be Rosralga. That makes the most sense for Ishgard.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honourable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid.
Makes sense.
Is that...
Soroban.
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
Do you know? Why did he turn into a snake? Excuse me? Alright. Same text all around. No job too small. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? Ha! You've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about elegant technology. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. You could say that. Ha! If only Master Kukul knew how right he was. While he and Graha established a report, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse. And, if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you have a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlie and Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types, busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Pah, the lot need all the help they can get. Well, then, off we go. I'll admit, without refined adamantite, I ain't got a bloody clue how else I could get the ether burner performing any better. If you lot don't come up with the goods, we're buggers. I shall endeavor to provide Master Kukul with whatever information he should require. Okay. And I shall just teleport up here. Because that's just faster. In order to protect the secrets of the Central Circuit, the researchers must navigate a bewildered maze of paperwork before they are permitted to return to the surface. I suppose it's no different than any other aspect of Sharlayan society. We do love our bureaucracy. It's very much a mirror of the city above, which is perhaps how it came to be called Sharlayan Hamlet. What a quaint little settlement this is. A shame it is hidden underground. I don't mind a bit of heavy lifting, but I draw the line at paperwork. So much as wave a sheaf of documents at me and I'll put my lance through it. I mean, you can staple stuff then, I guess. As surprised as I was to learn the foreign plan to send everyone to the moon, I can't imagine how the common folk must feel about it. Do my senses deceive me? In the shadow of yon corner. One can but hope this leadeth not to mischievous undertakings. Huh? Don't suppose there is actually someone here. Like, honestly. But it would be funny if there was. And I have an idea who it would be. Anyway, back to the story. I just wanted to see who we're dealing with here. From what I can tell, a lot of people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Sklark Montigane mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's meet by the Aetherite once our work is done. Sure. Side quests! Alright, now I have to figure out how much I have left here. Labyrinthos. Well, technically 4 quests, but in actuality it will be 3. And then the main scenario. So we have 1 currently here. I'm gonna do that in a little bit. For now, I actually want to continue the story. Helping with the Ark, even with all the power Master Cults managed to squeeze out of the Aetherburner, it's still not enough, apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived, horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the exodus sooner. People are dying, and there will be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in our plan, and all will be well. Okay. That wasn't really as helpful as I would have hoped. Hello? Are you one of the new helpers? Working on the Aetherburner? Oh dear, I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in, day out. It's tiring, thankless work. So, no one will be cross if I misplace a few legumes, or what have you. The firm's got enough on their plates as it is, what with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when. A lot of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fortunato and the others. Hardly get a moment's rest, I suspect. Do they even have time to sleep? They probably don't. Sorry. One more quest around here somewhere. There it is. Or a quest markup. More like. Offering to help. That's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It's mostly lists of the things we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person, after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I've not even the slightest idea what they look like. Oh, and I just realized that I forgot to adjust the camera a little bit. Oops. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants. Why, I would much prefer something small and fluffy, like that behatted rabbit that ran by. Yeah. Froggo. Of course there are Froggos over here. Singing way, living way. It would appear that the Brits have infiltrated Charlian's most heavily guarded facility. How? I know not. How marvelous it is to see you again. You'll be pleased to hear I've learned much since our fascinating discussions at the curatorium. It's all thanks to RNJ, you see. He taught me the finer points of cooking, which, despite my name, I knew very little about. So many dishes, so many hard-to-pronounce words. Actually, I was rather hoping he'd show me how to bake an Arkan loaf. They're quite popular, I hear, though it doesn't sound like it contains any flavors to speak of. Still, if that's the sort of thing your kind enjoys, I shall make enough to last the whole journey. Yay. Hum, hum, hum. What joy to sample the delights of Epheris. Cricky, I wasn't expecting to see you here, Laverne. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to say goodbye and for having those other leopards attack you. Terrible misunderstanding, that. Not to worry, though, as all have since recovered from that rather savage beating you administered. Ugh. They bear you no ill will. Well, perhaps a little, on account of the savagery, but time heals all wounds. Most, anyway. Fancy meeting you here, Laverne. Our friends in the forum brought us to see that teeny tiny toy boat, which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is in Epheris itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of a funny, underground, miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they are rather preoccupied. Honestly, all the time to prepare and they are still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do until we chanced upon RNG and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest? Won't that be fun?